All right, so in this video, we're going to dive into how to become an online fitness coach from A to Z, start to finish, step-by-step processes that I would take in order to launch an online coaching business and start working with online coaching clients. So there's going to be 7 steps here that we're going to get into, and we're going to work through them one by one in logical order. So let's get into it. Now, step number 1 is get certified and get some experience. Typically, it's easier to start in person than it is to start online. And it's definitely not something that you have to do, but it's something that is recommended because in person is much easier to start and build than it is an online coaching business for obvious reasons. Online coaching, there's lots of moving parts. It's quite technical. And it is more difficult, right? And so if you've got some in-person experience actually working with some personal training clients or people in an in-person setting, that obviously allows you to build that initial confidence, test out your initial skills learned from maybe your certifications or your qualifications that you just earned, and then establishes a nice base to build from before you start venturing into the online world. Now, a lot of the clients that I work with typically have got 6 to 12 months minimum of experience in person before they venture online and work with me online. And that's typically a route I would recommend. Again, it's not essential. I'm just saying it's a recommended route. And then start launching your online business once you've somewhat established yourself in an in-person setting. Now, when you do go online, what I'd also say is it might be worth actually upskilling even more in some things like nutrition or behavioral change coaching, because the modern day consumer is more aware of online coaching offers and programs these days, and they're looking for more than just a training plan or a Zoom workout. And so if you've got the skill set to provide also nutrition support on top of a training plan, then you're able to drive better results and really offer more to your clients. And as a byproduct, then they're happier, you can charge more, and ultimately you're building a more solid online business and offering. So that's step number 1. Step number 2 is coming up with what you want to sell or what you want to offer. Now, this could come in many different shapes or forms. It could be stuff that I don't really recommend, but selling just meal plans and PDFs for very small price points. And you've got to sell a lot of those things to make any real money in the online space and really help people, in my opinion, in the online space, because you're gonna have to have a massive audience to do that with 50, 100, a million followers, which most people listening to this won't have. And even those people who do have those big followings are, by the way, not making a lot of money selling those very low ticket PDFs and guides. They're making money through brand deals. And then typically if you're selling really low priced products and PDFs, people are going to take it and maybe disregard it, not even read it and not even action it. And so it's not really doing people the best service. So that's option 1. Option 2 is you create something a little bit higher priced, but not significantly, but a membership offering where you have a membership offering for a small fee, 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks or pounds per month. You add trainings and resources and maybe you have one support call in there on a weekly basis. Again, a very low ticket offering. You're going to have a lot of people for that to work, but you are collecting money on a reoccurring basis versus, say, just a one-off payment for a PDF. I personally don't like that model, but it is an option that you could go for. Option number 3 is something a little bit more mid-level and mid-priced, which is a group coaching offer where you could work with people in a group capacity. And essentially, instead of just selling something that's a membership site, you offer more levels of customization and coaching, but you do it in a group setting. And as a byproduct, you can charge a little bit more. That one's a little bit tricky to start with because you need to have a group of people to make it work. If you start it with 2 people, it's not really a group coaching offer. It's a glorified one-to-one offer, right? Because you've only got 2 people, and I guarantee that probably one of them won't attend a group call. So you've just got one person on the call at that point. You need to have at least 10, 15 people, in my opinion, for that type of offer to work for the client and to work for you, for your time and energy. But that's sort of a mid-level. And then you've got the higher level, higher ticket based coaching offer, which is a more one-to-one bespoke personalized service where it's high touch and it's a higher price point. Okay. And this is something that's actually easy to start out with. And it's actually easy to make a good living doing this because you don't have to have a massive audience or a ton of clients to make that work for you. Like you could do that with 500 followers or 1,000 friends on Facebook and do actually very, very well from it, make a very good living. And I really like that option because you can offer a really great level of service and you can get really good results on a one-to-one basis. And then from there, you can formulate maybe a group offer later down the line once you've ironed out all the kinks and really refined your skill set. Step number 3 is pick an ideal client. Now, this is called niching or picking a niche, depending on where you are in the world. Now, this is not essential by any means, but it just makes life easier, right? Because if you actually pick a niche or a niche, it means that you're going to actually attract more people in the long term. And the reason for that is, if you think about it logically, right? If you're a personal trainer right now and you're in a gym, your niche is everyone in a 2 to 3 mile radius of that gym, right? Because they're limited to the gym and the trainers in those gyms or the local gyms and facilities around them, because they're not looking online. And so they're limited to the local area. And so if you're based in that local area, your niche is everyone around you. And those people come in all different shapes and sizes with all different types of goals and problems. And we call that general population, right? They're just general population people. Versus if those same people go and search on Instagram or Facebook or Google or LinkedIn, they can now find niche online coaches that can help them with very specific goals and are specifically set up to help people just like them. And so now they have lots more choice and they're going to be a lot more selective with who they work with. And they're going to be looking for specialists or niche coaches because they have the option to do so, because they're not limited to just their local area. And so picking an ideal client, picking a niche allows you then to start appealing to people, and means you're not a generalist, means you're not vanilla. You're either strawberry or chocolate. You're going to maybe repel some people, but you're going to attract others as a byproduct of actually deciding who you want to work with. And the upside is you can also create a bespoke program, create a bespoke offer, actually create a better quality service, because men and women, for example, have different needs and different problems. And so if you're catering for one, you can create a very bespoke program for those specific problems and needs. And then equally, it allows you to then charge more for what you do, because you've actually created a more specific service and positioned yourself as more of an authority versus a general practitioner. Step number 4 is setting up some kind of payment processor to take payment, right? Because if you're chatting to someone online and they want to work with you, the last thing you want to do is trying to get them to set up a bank transfer or wire you the money some way, right? You want to have some professional setup when it comes to taking payment, setting up reoccurring payments and selling your offers. And you could use something like Stripe. We've used Stripe for the last 5 years. They do take a little bit of a transaction fee, but you could build that into your pricing and so you don't feel it. And then it just means that you've got your payments set up to be able to take them very smoothly if you're on a call or chatting to a potential client. Then equally, you can set them up on a reoccurring basis or a payment plan basis to just make taking payments much easier. Now, there is alternatives out there. We are actually looking into another alternative called GoCardless. The reason we're doing that is because Stripe charges 2.9%. I think GoCardless, my business partner is looking into it, is about 0.5%. So it's much more of the money that we're going to keep at scale if we go with a lower fee payment processor. But those are just 2 to explore and look into and get set up. Step number 5 is really coming up with your content or marketing strategy. Now, my advice would be to pick 1 to 2 platforms, preferably Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn, because in my opinion, YouTube and TikTok are harder places to begin. TikTok, you're limited to TikTok style content, but you could create video content for any of the platforms like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn anyway, plus lots of other styles of different content. Let's say you like writing content, they're good for that. YouTube is also very difficult to get into, and it requires a much higher level of production and skills. I've been creating content for the last 5 years. I've only just started building this channel recently, and it's a lot of time, energy, and resources. It takes me a lot of time to do it. It takes me a lot of time with coming up with the YouTube videos. Then I've got to send it over to an editor to edit up the videos, which costs money, up to $100, maybe $150, depending on the time. And then I've got to pay for the thumbnails. I just spent about $660 updating all the thumbnails on the YouTube channel. If you've seen any of those, let me know what you think. but that costs a lot of money, right? There's a lot of resources that need to go into it, and it's probably a difficult place to start, especially if you're not confident yet on video. So Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram are good starting places with your content strategy. You want to pick one platform, and then you just want to commit to creating content for that platform as your kind of like initial lead generation process, or at least one of them. And there's many different ways of generating leads, and I'll speak about that later in this video. But I would pick a singular platform, and then if you've got an ideal client that you're working with, then speak to them specifically. So I help personal trainers build their online coaching businesses. This video is not for accountants or lawyers or builders. I'm speaking specifically to the personal trainers who are looking to build their businesses, and so I can create very niche content, right? So you want to be able to do that if possible. And then there's 3 things that I'd have in the content that, in my opinion, touches all the right bases and makes it compelling and makes it convert. And I call that vision, value, and connection-based content. So vision is content that is giving people a vision of what it would be like working with you, where you're sharing client wins, you're talking about what you do in your program, because people can't buy what they don't know exists. And so if you can build that in to your content, then you start to educate people about the potential solution that they may want to buy. Then you've got value. Coaches are typically good at sharing value, tips on this, insights on that, how to do this, etc. Just like this video that you're watching right now, right? I'm sharing value with you, and these are great authority positioning pieces of content that really help you establish that trust with your audience, that you know what you're speaking about, and then as a byproduct, they're going to be more trustworthy of working with you in your business. And then finally, this is one that a lot of people overlook, and I call it connection content. And this is content that's kind of like the glue, in my opinion, where you essentially create content about you, your life, things that are happening, things that are going on that are not business related, but are personal. And this allows you to connect on a deeper level. For example, if you follow a certain sports team, talking about that allows you to connect with people who like that sport, or like that team. If you're about to move across country or emigrate to somewhere else, then that's an interesting journey to take your audience on, and they may relate to that emigration process, or maybe traveling across a country, or maybe they live in the location that you're moving to. I just had a call actually with a coach that's just about to join us in the Remote Coaches Academy, and I was talking about relocating, because I'm just about to relocate from where I am right now to the other side of the country, down to Kent towards London. And we're looking for a place right now. We've not found anything, and we're meant to be moving in the next couple of weeks because this property is gone essentially. And so I was sharing this with her, and she says, "Oh, I used to live where you're looking. I actually know some agents there. Why don't I put you in touch?" And she put me in touch with some agents. I've been chatting to those agents. I've been looking at some properties. As a byproduct of sharing those personal things with this potential client, we got to build a connection, and we got to build a bond. And now we have something that's more than just business that binds us together. And I think that's really important when it comes to selling a service like yourself to your audience, to your clients. And step number 6 is collecting client wins, transformations, and client results, because this is going to be key and integral to obviously showcasing what you do and building your business. Now, one of the things we do inside of RCA, when a client comes in, a new coach that's looking to build their online coaching business, and they don't have any transformations, case studies, or testimonials, a couple of things you can do is, if you've got personal training clients and you followed step 1 and got some personal training experience first, you can leverage some of that in the online world, because it's still proof that you know how to get some form of results using your skills. So you can leverage your personal training results. But if you haven't got a ton of results to work with, there's mechanisms and incentives you can give people to come out and taste and test your program in exchange for results. And that can be those initial case studies and testimonials and results you need to really showcase your business and position some social proof. And we have many different campaigns and strategies for that inside the Remote Coach Academy, but that's definitely something that you can do to actually then draw people in and get them excited about the prospect of working with you if you can showcase what you do. Now, typically what I do personally is try and at least share one client win or result on my social media, let's say Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'll fire it out on there. And then in my stories on Instagram and Facebook, I'll post them in about 3 times a week, maybe. Again, I can't post all client wins because we have so many, but I try and at least do it once a week, and that's typically good practice to share that social proof. Now, the final thing is review, improve, and build. The online coaching space changes very quickly. There's new tools, new software, AI, there's lots of innovations, new science. A lot of things are changing very quickly in this space, and you're going to learn and observe things and just notice things as you take on more clients. So that's a great opportunity to improve what you do, is to build out a better program and service and infrastructure, but also upgrade some of your systems and your operations and make things more efficient. Equally, your strategy for getting clients may be pretty basic when you start out. Maybe that's just through Instagram, or maybe it's just through past contacts. But then you could maybe layer in another platform, or maybe another means like a referral system, a paid marketing system, maybe a content growth system to build your network, or even do collaborations and affiliates to get new leads and clients coming into your business. So there's lots of things that you can do on review and reflection to then further grow and build your online coaching business. So hopefully these steps helped you coming up with the right game plan or ideas when it comes to building an online coaching business from scratch. If it did, and if it was helpful, and if you're still here, give it a like and let me know in the comments below, and definitely check out some of the other content on the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.